Welcome to my media museum. Today is episode 6 of Box 11's 80s dance music. We're going to have a few more episodes to work our way through this stack. And we're starting off here with Eddie Grant, Electric Avenue. I want to take you to Electric Avenue. Says it was hit number 2 in May of 83. So it came out in 82, but it took a while for it to hit its top position in the charts, apparently. And something else I wanted to point out here on this one's kind of interesting. It's got some information stamped into the dead wax there about where it was mastered by in New York. You often see the writing. You see if you can see it out there. You get a lot of numbers, different numbers in dead wax on different 45s for different reasons. But that's the first time I've seen something that looked like it was actually literally stamped into the wax. That's kind of unique, kind of different. So the B-side of this one has a song called I Don't Want to Dance. And being that this is a retrospect, it's re-release, that one may very well have been a hit song too. There's no notations, but it was marked, is noted as having been released in July of 83. So that would have been after Electric Avenue. And another thing I want to point out that's interesting is the sleeve here has a sticker with the barcode attached to the sleeve. So this is one of those transitional period releases where the barcode does not appear on the label, but they simply made a sticker and stuck it on the sleeve. Don't see that very often. Haven't seen that much. And you get a lot of mix-match sleeves, so you know it wouldn't be unusual to have a sleeve that had someone else's barcode on there for sure. So next up, we've got a band called Eddie Brickwall and New Bohemians. Now, New Bohemians does ring a bit of a bell for me. I don't recognize the name. Oh, it might be Edie. E-D-I-E. Not two E's in there. Eddie or Edie Brickwall? Brickwall. Boy, I'm just messing this one all up. I'm sorry, whoever you are, if you're watching. I apologize for murdering your name like that. But we got the song What I Am, noted as the LP version, clearly noted as the A-side, and you'll see we've got a barcode on there, 1988. We're getting late in the life period for vinyl 45s here. We discussed this numerous times, and again, sound like a broken record if you've watched all of my videos. 91 was around the time that the distributors quit giving credits back to the record stores for unsold copies. And that's when the stores just simply quit ordering them, quit stocking them, and the format basically died out except for anybody but DJs, you know, people who are actually buying the 7 inches and stuff to DJ parties and whatever. So, yeah, flipping this one over, we've got a song called I Do. And hey, you can see me in this one a little bit. Again, 1988, but clearly marks as B-side, and it's once again listed as the LP version. So this 45 doesn't have anything particularly special about it. It's not a 45 edit. Next up, we have Terrence Trent D'Arby. Terrence Trent D'Arby is my best guess. Again, apologies if I got that wrong. He hit number 1 in February of 88 with Wishing Well. I'm sure that's not the song I'd know. Wishing Well was Bad Company, I believe. Yeah, in my world. And that looks like a scribble, doesn't it? It looks like a scribble or a stamp or something. But it's on both sides. So I don't know what that particular symbol means or what it's there for, but it is interesting. And the song on this side is Elevators and Hearts, which again is not something I'm familiar with. It's noted as 1987, so at least we're in the 80s, like I promised you in the title. Certainly no intention of being misleading in any ways. That was just the best thing I could think of calling this series of videos, because it is mostly 80s, and from what I recognize, it's mostly dance music, whether it's actually shaking your booty or just swaying your hips. But yeah, I didn't want to do the dance to disco continuing on, because there really isn't any disco in this series, this stack. But we are going to be switching over to another stack from a different box, and there will be some disco popping up, and I'm going to go ahead and stick with this series rather than trying to, go back to Dance to Disco 3. But here we've got Larry Graham doing Just Be My Lady. Now, I'm not sure about this one. It looks, for some reason, it just kind of makes me think it might be a country and western. But I don't know. I don't know it. I don't know Larry Graham. And Be My Lady doesn't ring any bells for me. The B-side of this one is a song called Feels Like Love, off of the same album, Just Be My Lady. So that is the album title track. So, moving on. This one might sound country if you didn't know better, but I actually know that this one ain't country. Sheriff. It's definitely not country and western. When I'm With You. I've heard of, or maybe it's Sharif. Yeah, it might be Sharif. But anyways, I've heard of them. And this was from 1982. Clearly marked as side 1. When I'm With You. And the B-side, or side 2, as they like to call it on here, is Give Me Rock and Roll. Okay. Alright, I don't think they were a rock band, but that's alright. You can claim whatever you want, alright? Alright, next up we've got the Barkays. And this is 1979, so we're right on the verge of the 80s here, with Loving You Is My Occupation, from the album Enjoy, spelled with an I instead of an E. Never heard of any of this. I have heard of the Barkays. That's about the best. And the B-side here, which I believe is the B-side, can't be positive. Today Is the Day. It's hard to know an A from a B when you don't know any of the songs and you're not familiar with the band and you don't take the time to look it up on the internet. Which we could always do later. If I took the time to look all these up on the internet before filming, I'd never get anything done. I'd be spending all my time doing research and nothing else. And yeah, I'm not going to do that. Gregory Abbott doing Shake You Down from 1986. Never heard of him, don't know the song, and what I believe to be the B-side here is Wait Until Tomorrow, which to me is a Jimi Hendrix song. We don't have to wait till tomorrow, off of Axis's Love. Axis Bold as Love, excuse me. Get my Jimi Hendrix stuff right at least. But anyways, yeah, I'm sure that's positively not the same song. That's just what Wait Until Tomorrow means to me. And since I don't know Gregory Abbott or any of his work, yeah, my mind kind of rambles off track. Next up, we do have one that I'm pretty sure I've heard of before. Levert doing Casanova. And this is definitely some dance music, I'm pretty darn positive. Released June of 1987. This is an oldies series. And like I said, the format died out in 91, so if this was actually released in 87 and it's on an oldie series, it wasn't too old when it got reissued on the oldie series. It could have only been 2, 3, 4 years tops. But the B-side of this one is a song called Pop, 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 Goes My Mind. And this one says it was released July of 86, so this one's actually a year older than the other side. So you might think this was the A-side. Being an oldie series, they both could be A-sides, as we previously discussed. When they do these reissues, back-to-back hits kind of things, a lot of times they wore 2 previous singles put on one and the B-sides tossed. but I haven't heard of that song. Casanova does kind of ring a bell for me for some reason. I do think I have at least heard of that song. All right, next up, speaking of back-to-back hits, here's one right here with Atlantic Starr doing All in the Name of Love. Let's see if I can straighten that up a little for you. I got that tad crooked, but yeah, again, stuff I'm not familiar with. Off of the album All in the Name of Love. So this is the album title track, 1987. And the other side, since it's a back-to-back, don't necessarily want to call it the B-side, but it's a song called Always. And yeah, I'm calling that the B-side because the other one's the album title track, so kind of think that would be the A-side, right? So, next up, moving on, we've hit a whole bunch of these that I just don't know anything about. Atlantic Oldies Series sleeve there for you. Nice bright red. And King Floyd, not Pink, but King Floyd doing Groove Me, which apparently hit number 6 in December of 1970? Interesting. I never heard of King Floyd. 1970s going quite a ways back there. But Groove Me does sound kind of like definitely a dance song, but it does sound kind of 80s-ish. And the other side is a song called Baby Let Me Kiss You. Hit number 29 in the charts apparently in April of 1971. So this was apparently the year after the other side. So I hope we sparked some memories again there for you. I hope you enjoyed that. And please do come back and join us for part 6. We'll see you then.